Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you. And I think you'll have to listen. Because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right. It's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart. Doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now I know. Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled
who
to
are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Come on in, you guys. Let me give a shout out to Freddie Johnson. She's first one in the building. Hey sis, how you doing? How you doing? And Zena Turbert's in the building. She was second. Lisa Taylor came on in here. All the moms are in the building. Nancy's in the building. How you guys doing? Monique Hall, how are you doing? Shauna is in the house. Nancy LaRose is up in here. Also, you guys come on in. Let's sit down and talk for a little bit. We got a little bit to go on today. I know there's not a lot of new information, but on the missing baby in the California area, the mother claimed the baby came up missing. She went to go get a mouthpiece for another child, which was her stepson. On August the 14th, you guys know. And then she claimed she went to Big Five. She was in the parking lot. Somebody said, hola. She seen white, passed out. They hit her in the head, gave her 2 black eyes. She ran in the store, asked, have anybody seen her baby? The lady said no. She said, you seen anybody with a baby? And then after that, they went and did a press conference talking about, have anybody seen this child? He was a Spanish child, cross-eyed, wearing a onesie, Nike swoosh on it, and nobody seen the baby. They found discrepancies in the mama's story. They started asking her about it. She then stopped, compromising with them, and she just stopped talking. So then they started looking around, searching for the baby. Come to find out, I think it was August the 22nd. They arrested the mom and the dad, and they charged them with 2 counts. One with murder. They saying that the baby is deceased, and the other charge was falsifying a police report, which is a misdemeanor. They have them on $1 million bond. They first went to court on the 26th. They didn't have no attorney. They were trying to do the arraignment with no attorney to represent them. So then they went back to, I think it was September the 4th, or it can be the 7th. I guess it's the 4th. They was going to have it again. And I can't remember what happened, but they pleaded guilty, you guys. Not guilty. They pleaded not guilty. And then there was some new information that came out about how Jake, that's the father, Jake Hiro and Rebecca Hiro. Jake Hiro is, he was praised for passing the abuse class. He has a prior record of abusing his former wife, which was Vanessa, and the 10 weeks old child, and left her bedridden. She's blind. She's on a feeding tube. She has a trach. He busted some ribs. He said she fell from the sink, fell on the divider part of the sink. What else do we know? And him and Vanessa was charged. They both pleaded guilty. The judge let them off and said, I'm going to give you a pass. Go out and do no more wrongdoing. They did a press conference. The DA, Mike, he says that it was an outrage. The judge gave him probation and let him go free. And now we have another child missing. It was told that he was selling clothes. It was told that even Rebecca was selling clothes. But Jake did go to a child abuse class. All the teachers said that he passed with flying colors, like he knew what to do, how to do it, when to do it. Everything was reasonable. When things got out of hand, he knew he had the resources and everything. It's just something, sometimes some people can't be rehabilitated. I don't know what it is. But anyway, there is a little bit of new information. It's telling us that, and I wanted to share this with you guys, and Jake told another lie. So, did he not say he rolled over the baby? Yeah, he said he rolled over the baby. He said he rolled over the baby and the baby died, and he went and threw the baby in the trash. And he told somebody, I guess they either put a police officer in the cell with him or undercover, whatever. They say they didn't, and Brian said that they did, and he stands on what he said. And I believe Brian. I believe him. I believe that they did put a police officer in there to get some information. And that is not something that's not uncalled for. They do that. They may not can use it where in court, but they can still use it as more information that they need to know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, sometimes you be like, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to bake a cake. And so you get all the things to bake a cake and you say, well, I'm not going to go buy a new pan because I already got one, or that pan won't work. But buying an extra pan, knowing that you know can use it on something else or whatever, is something that we can do, right? So you get it, and that's what I think they did. You know, I always have to break it down for myself, not for you guys, because you guys understand this is how the world works. You guys know this. But I break it down for myself. Like, you know, when I go to the store, yeah, I do got the cake on my mind. But at the end of the day, um, if I buy an extra pan or a pan, you know, and it's not for the cake, but I still got the pan and the pan can do some other good. That's how I see. Hey, Miss Didi, I see you. I see that you be in the bushes. Lisa Taylor, how you doing? And so it's not, they're not gonna say, yeah, we put a person in there and he got some information. They did not want that to come out. And it seemed like when Mike was given the press conference, he got agitated. Not Mike, but the sheriff, whoever he was, you know. And I can't stand that sheriff that's down there. I mean, he made the way that he talked about the people down there that is trying to help, you know, the media, social media, and it's like it was a slap in the face. You know, I'm just being honest. It was. You guys don't get it, but I get it. And he did it in front of everybody. It was like a slap in the face. He was basically like, you know, you're not doing the people any justice. You're doing them injustice. You know, like go to sleep, go get some rest. You shouldn't be out here when all the information that I wouldn't say all of the information, let me back up, but a lot of the information that they have, majority of the information that they have, I'm going to tell you guys this, and it's not to just down the police, because the police can get in there and go places with the information. But if it had not been for social media, they wouldn't be as far as they are. They want to say that they doing all this on their own, but it's not true. That is not true. We know that the word of mouth is faster than any kind of communication, and social media I can be right here in Kansas and somebody can hear what I say and they can go get this. I'm telling you, I have gotten, just right there in California, the mayor gave me she gave me I asked her to talk about the California City Boys, and did she know that they were missing, and is they looking for this child, and we're worried about this child, and say something to the people, because we want to know that you got your eyes on these two little black little boys that's just missing, and you let somebody adopt them, and you didn't pay attention to that, and you didn't give them to the mama. So tell us what you know. Are you watching this? And she gave me I can't put the name of what exclusive of speaking on the boys. And by the time I uploaded, I had it for a full day. I didn't put it out. I had it for a full day and told everybody to come on in here. You're going to hear it here first, because we the only one that got it, right? Sugar Mama, I do have to get with you. I got to get you your money. I have not forgot about you. I have not went down to the post office. So I want to say that because I see Sugar Mama in the building. But I want you to know, I haven't forgot about you. I just, my grandson had a wreck and all that other stuff. So nevertheless, you guys, anyway, when the mayor gave me the exclusive and we came live, you think these people don't watch this stuff? Somebody's always watching to see who knows where's what. Me, little bitty old me, here in Kansas, you guys. I mean, I'm 3,000-4,000 miles away from California. Do you not know by the time we got off the air, we was on for maybe an hour. The news people had took our exclusive and put it on their channel. But the only thing that the mayor told me that I couldn't do, she told me to don't go augmenting and changing things. You know what I'm saying? Because when you work with this stuff, you know how to edit stuff and delete stuff and things like that. She told me to don't do that, so I didn't do it. So then people came in the live and was like, I already seen this, SP. I said, no, you couldn't have, because it was us. Now, if you seen it again, they got it from us. You see what I'm saying? But they was like, SP, we got it from somewhere. The news. And I went, and it was on the news. But they didn't get it from them. They got it from us. Anyway, yeah, they stole it that quick. Didn't say, hey, where they got it from or nothing. But you know what? You know what was so funny about the whole situation, y'all? That's the funny thing about the whole situation, and hey, it is what it is, because we take things from them too. So you know what I'm saying. But social media ain't. Sometimes we can get a hold of things that especially when you out there digging and you looking and you want some help and you want to know, who's doing what and why y'all not doing that. You ask these people, these officials, these questions. You do. You can ask them. You can ask them to say something. You can ask them to give me an interview. You can ask them. She called me. The mayor down there called me personally. You guys, she called me back personally. I kid you not. She called me back personally, and we had a conversation. And I wanted to know about them boys. I wanted to know what you guys doing. Do you know that these boys are missing? Do you not know? You're coming up to what? It's election time, and I want to know what you know. Do you know? Say something. We need to put these boys on the map. These kids right here is the wrong ones for them to be messing with. And I just felt like if that's the only thing that we could do, that's fine. You guys understand what I'm saying? That's fine. Trust and believe. Anytime that you get an official to speak on what you feel in your heart, that's a good thing. No, I can't drive to California and go looking for the baby. I wish I could. I wouldn't know where to look. I wouldn't even know my way around there. California is so far away. You know what I'm saying? But I want to know what you guys are doing. And let me tell you something. When she's speaking, it was a she, you guys. She's asking the questions. What are you guys doing? She's asking the police, tell me what's going on. Where you guys are at. You know what I'm saying? You put a little smoke, a little fire underneath them and say, hey, I may have 6 or 7 people, but these 6 or 7 people that come in the chat and we talk, or 10 or 100 or 1,000 or whatever, or 55 or 72, it doesn't matter. Them 72, whether you see it or not, are speaking on this child's behalf. You never know who's in the building. You never know who will speak for you. You never know who's got your back. You never know. Because now that we got this social media, you can be in Kingdom Come. You can be anywhere in the world and you can still touch, make a difference. Ma Bell used to say, reach out and touch somebody. That's what they used to say. Reach out and touch somebody. You don't need a phone no more. You just get on the internet. When you got a situation or a problem or something, you just get on that internet, just like Jake and Rebecca did. Hey, my child is missing. Somebody took my child. They hit me in the head. They said, "Hola, I seen white." And then I woke up and he was gone and I was changing him and da 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 da. And then, and people was wondering, you know what? This is big. This is big. When I was telling you guys about Naziah, and I said, y'all think Naziah's story is nationwide? No, it's not. I'm sorry to tell you, it's not. And they making sure it's not going to be. That's why we stayed on the case for as long as we did. Because some stories get full headlines, get front page, everywhere. But you know what? Social media. So that's why you stay on it. Because I'm going to tell you what they do. They do just like everybody else do. If you come in and you listen to the story and you want to know what's going on and you're calling those officials and other people are calling those officials, then that's when they make it a top priority. You guys? That's when. So I sent you information on the mom Uno they captured in India. Oh, in Indiana. Who's that? So I need to tell you guys something about Jake. They said not only Jake took the class and he passed the class with no problems. No problem. They saying now that Jake, they said chilling new details about son Jake the killer, Jake Harrow, as they said, it's funny. It says a sixth cycle, chilling new details about son killer, Jake Harrow, as 7-month-old Emmanuel remains missing a month after disappearance. Disturbance information continues to come out about the dad accused of killing his own son. They says the new details about 7-month-old parents continue to emerge as they both are accused of murdering their son and covering it up. Then they say speculation about 32 Jake and Rebecca's role in their son's disappearance quickly arose after Rebecca claimed he was taken from the Big Five sporting goods store parking lot in Ucapa on August 14th. Police pointed out discrepancies in her story, eventually leading them to conclude that the abduction that 41-year-old Rebecca spoke about had never happened. It's funny how they keep saying her age, 41-year-old Rebecca. See, I'm telling you guys this, but they say that, but it's funny how they keep saying her age, 41-year-old Rebecca. Now, new information about Jake's upbringing has shed more light on the man's accused of murdering his own son. They say criminal defense attorney Alexandria spoke about Jake's turbulent family life on News Nation. So you can go on News Nation and you can see what they say. But I'll tell you right now, the lawyer said Jake was separated from his family as a child, meaning his alleged abuse and neglect of Emmanuel could be continuing a sick cycle learned at a young age. It sounds like this is a long time cycle of abuse that's happened in the family. Okay. They said that allegedly that Jake's grandfather was mentally ill and that his mother struggled with addiction. Okay. The mom left him at home, not only with his grandfather, who wasn't fit to watch over him, but there was also domestic violent issues between his mother and his father. And so she went on to say that by the time Jake was 13, he and his brother and his sister was taken away from their parents and placed with an adoption family. Did you guys know that? It's unclear where she gathered this information at, but she didn't. They say she didn't immediately return there to comment where she got the information. But Jake did plead guilty to child cruelty in 2018. He severely abused his 10-month-old daughter, leaving her permanently disabled. Now, the judge let him off with a suspended sentence and ordered him to attend a child abuse program. We've talked about all of that, you guys. He passed the program with flying colors and was deemed to have a low abuse risk to children. In 2024, Jake had a run-in with the law when he was caught carrying a firearm while he was on probation. The alleged probation violation briefly threw Jake in jail, but he was let out after he posted bail. They said the Riverside District Attorney Michael previously told that the judge letting Jake go was outraged. That's what his name was. I keep saying Mike. Well, I guess his name is Mike. It's Michael. Mike. He said it's a shame and it's an outrage. That man, I don't know, you guys. I don't know if he could work with it. Didn't know, SP. Thanks for sharing. Oh, yes. He says, you guys know that Mike says that the system, their justice system, breaks down. It's broken. It's only broken when they feel like they can come back and say, oh, well, we arrested somebody, but you let them go. What about the people that you done arrested that was innocent? You know what I'm saying? What about those people? Come on. Get on there and then say who got it wrong and who got it right. You know, here's the thing, you guys. You can't get it all right and you can't get it all wrong. You just do the best you can do. Nobody's perfect. Nobody, you can't sit there and then want to point fingers at the judge because he let Jake go. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, I bet you guys, I guarantee you, I bet you, at the end of the day, when the police get done, like they got a job to do. And you know what? I respect police. I can tell you I don't care for them, but I respect them because when I need help, who am I going to call? I'm going to call the law. I'm going to call the law so that they can settle it. I've never had the law literally help me. I'm for real. Now, when my son came up missing, I don't know if they were helping me or they just decided that, but they all came out. So, I can't really say anything bad. Like, do I know the police as good or bad? Like, the run-ins with me with the police, it always been like either neutral or they were bad. I mean, it wasn't like, if I did something like ran a red sign, a stop sign or something, they want to throw my ID on the ground and make me get out the car and get it. And, just treat me all like, you know what I'm saying? You broke the law. They were like, oh, you didn't get your dog neutered. Okay, you breaking the law. You know what I'm saying? Like, go arrest somebody that's kidnapping kids or robbing banks or breaking in people's homes. Don't come bothering me. But, it's like when we really, 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 really need them, they're like, well, you just step back and let us do it. And they're never like really nice. You know what I'm saying? So there's a reason why they have a bad name. You know what I'm saying? To me, I'm just saying, maybe it's because of my color or my gender or something. But they've never really helped me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they've ever helped somebody, but they just never did. Anytime I call them or something, they just never really helped. It always seemed like I call them and they want to check my ID and do you have a license for that, or who lives all in your home, and did Nick, hey, I called you for something else. And now, and I can tell you that is why the Spanish community do not want to talk to the police. You can't help the Spanish community because the first thing you're going to do is they call you because they know something or got some information. You want to know who's all in the house, who's registered, who's undocumented. What's your name? What's your name? Or was you born in the United States or whatever? Blah, 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 blah. ICE is all over the world. I don't see them in Kansas, but I see them on the news and I see what they're doing. They just pick people up and send them away. They done sent some Americans down in Mexico somewhere. And they don't even know. They thought that they were Spanish. And they are full legal Americans. American doesn't mean that you're white. American means that you're born in the United States. That's it. That's it. Then you're American because you're born in the United States. Now, your family could have came from Africa, like my family, and India, my family, Yes, when you call for a census, you treat it like the criminal. Exactly. They know because of the description you gave of your son, they would have been scandalous. Yeah. Well, I guess, when a child come up missing, you guys, here's the thing. When a child come up missing, I can tell you my situation. My child came up missing. I got up that morning, told my boyfriend, I'm going to go take Shannon to school. I'll be right back. Coco's in the bed. He said, all right. Come on, Shannon, do her hair, get her ready for school. Okay, the baby sleep in the bed. Ain't no need of me waking him up, getting him dressed just so he can ride. He's in the bed sleep. I get up, get my daughter dressed and ready for school, and then get in the car, and I'm driving down the street, and it's snow on the ground. So I'm driving, but I'm not paying attention, looking out or whatever. I guess somehow my son got up and went in the room. He said, where mama? And he said, boy, go back to bed. He told him to go back to bed. He thought he went back to bed. My son ran out the house and seen the car going down the street and started running to the car, tried to get to the car, but I didn't look back. So a woman like 2 houses down from our house see my son running down the street with no shoes on, in his pajamas, and told him to come in. So I get back to the house. The first thing I always do, I always look in and make sure my kids is okay. So I look and I'm like, he's not in the bed. Maybe he done got in the bed with my boyfriend because my boyfriend spent the night. So I go in there and nope, he's not in the bed. And I'm like, hey, where's Coco? And well, we didn't call him Coco at the time. Where's Jay? And he was like, he's in his room. He came in here asking where you was at. I was like, hey, where's my son? He was like, he's in his room. So I go back in his room. I look underneath the bed. I look in the closet. I'm looking. I go in the utility room. I'm looking all in there. I go outside. I go around. I don't see nothing. The first thing I do, because I don't see any body, I didn't pay attention to was the door open, was the door shut, or anything, or footprints or anything. I call 911. That's what you do. They want to ask me, what was he wearing? I can't think about what he was wearing. I can't remember what he was wearing. Just go look. We need to look. I called my mom. The funny thing about, me telling you guys these stories is some kind of sadness comes over me. Because even though when I call my mother, it takes me back to that day, right? And do you know, because my mother would have everybody, she would have all my brother's phone number and everything. And, nobody showed up but the police. So at that time in my life, yes, I can say I needed them. They came, and it was a whole bunch of them. It was a whole bunch of them. And you guys, I'm going to tell you, that's why I said I can't really say nothing like bad about the police. I've had some bad run-ins, but when you really need them, when it's really, really serious, who else gonna come, And yeah, they came. Freddie said, yes, ICE to them is like Jim Crow was to our ancestors. Exactly. Zena said, ICE, baby. Yeah. They, they don't care who they send. And I'm going to tell you something, I'm against them to do what they're doing to the Spanish people. I'm against it, because we can go to their country, but you're saying that they can't come to our country. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know the logistics of why it's like this, but can't you go to Mexico anytime that you want to go to Mexico? You can go to Mexico. And if you go to Mexico and you wanted to stay, you could probably stay if you wanted to stay. I mean, if that's what you want to do. People go there and visit and vacate over there in Acapulco and all this other stuff or wherever, I mean, I don't want to go to Mexico, I mean, I hear it's terrible there. Why would I want to go? I don't want to go. But, people would always, even the neighbors that I had before, I'm glad that they're gone. They was like, go back to your country. Honey, what are you talking about? This is my country. Your country, my country. I mean, I don't own a country, nor do you, but I was born right here in the United States. What makes you think I wasn't? Just stupid. Just saying stupid stuff. I just hate when people treat people like that. Just stupid. But anyway, nevertheless, ultimately, Zena says, I think that's what they want to do, which is send us back into slavery. Watch the movie Antebellum. Let me write that down. Let me get a pen that works. You said Antebellum? Okay, I will watch it. What is it, on Netflix or what is it on? Antebellum, is it on Netflix? That's the only one I got. And it's costing me an arm and a leg. Well, I think that they think just because you're black or, you have some melatonin in your skin that you come from Africa. That is so stupid. You know what I'm saying? Just like every Spanish person, just because they're Spanish, not all of them speak Spanish. Not all of them born in Mexico. In Mexico, they proud of their country. I mean, they don't want to stay there because, they want to raise their kids. But who don't want to be proud of where they, where their culture's from or where they're from, Like, I would love to go to Africa. I don't want to stay in Africa, because think about it right now. If you went to Africa, I'm talking to you guys right now. If you went to Africa, they don't accept you there because you're not African. They would they every time when I run into an African person, and I work with them all the time, you guys, they be like, they want you to think like that. No, y'all, they don't accept you because you're not. You're an American. And then they think that you're lazy, and they thinking, oh, you don't want to go to school. The African people that comes over here that gets a chance to go to school and work or whatever, they think that, the African American people got it made. No, we do not. And the only reason why you can get to come over here is because of all the things that the African American people over here has put up with and has been making changes. Little progress, but that's the only reason why you can come. But to sit there and just hate African American people just because we were born in America, I don't know what the problem is, You know what I'm saying? Because let it be told, I'm gonna tell you guys something. It wouldn't have been a lot of slavery had not the African people sell their own people. You just don't come in and rob a strong man. You can't do that. Okay? You better read your Bible. It tells you all about it. You can't. If you got slaves, that means somebody must have sold them to you or let you get them. You didn't come over to a whole nation and just kidnap a whole bunch of people and nobody knew about it now. Come on. Okay? And you better read up on your history that, that's just the way it is. I mean, you don't have to like what I'm saying, but I love history. So I'm gonna let you know, like African people sold their own people. So if you really want to get technical about the whole situation, you can't really be just mad at Caucasian people. Sometimes, people did it to themselves. You did it to your own people. They started killing each other over there. You guys, I love to look at documentaries of stuff and everything. And you just got to get over the nonsense, the stuff that happened way before we was even born. You got to get over it. You know what I'm saying? Zena says, right, I have some old neighbors that they told us the rooter from the tutor about what life is like living in Mexico. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And and here's the thing, like a lot of Mexican, Spanish people are just born here, and people want to say, go back to your own, like, you know what? I'm just like, can we just all get along? We're all different. Even in our own culture, we're all different. It doesn't make one better than the other. We just gonna have to. She says, Google it. I have the DVD of the movie. Okay. I'm gonna find it. Trust me and believe, I'll find it. We'll talk about it. But that's what they're saying about Jake. They're saying it's a cycle in his family. His mother was abusive. His mother was on drugs. She was an addict. She left the kids with the grandfather, her father, which, the mom and the dad of Jake was abusive. And we don't know how or how they got the information. And they probably won't never tell you how they got the information, because that information probably was supposed to be secured information. Somebody that knew that Jake was adopted, or somebody that knew who adopted Jake when he was a child, and they spoke out, but they wanted to be anonymous. But they saying that Jake, I'm going to tell you guys something. Zena says, I have a neighbor who is Nigerian and she is evil as all get up. Shoot. I'm telling you, this is the we had a my husband and I had a garage sale this year. And my husband really wasn't helping me at the beginning of the garage sale. But then, I started making all this money and stuff, and I was just loving it. So I think on the second day or something, he was helping, and then his friends came to our garage sale, and they brought their wives and their girlfriends, and one of the girls was Nigerian. And so she was buying up all my purses, you guys. Y'all, y'all would have been like, OSP. Oh, I was almost giving them away. I was like, shoot. I had to clean out a lot of room. And I still got a whole bunch, you guys. I got buckets and buckets of Finny purses with the authentic papers. Yeah. $1,200 purse, with the authentic paperwork. Yeah. Anyway, she was like, my husband was telling her, he was like, she's got a whole bunch of more downstairs. And so she looks at me, she was like, let's go see it. And so I done dug in through a lot of junk. I say junk, but a lot of stuff. It's a room downstairs full of a whole bunch of stuff. And I have already put out everything I wanted to sell. There was more, but I just didn't want to bring nothing in. So I wanted to sell what I had out. Anyway, she wanted to come in, and I was like, no, my house is in a mess right now. She was like, we don't, she said, we don't make fun of, or we don't talk about it, like we don't criticize. No, that's what she said. We don't criticize. We don't criticize. We listen. We don't criticize. And she was like, come on, show me. Let me tell you something, okay? Ain't no way in the world if I'm rummaging through the things I got in my house and I'm putting out what I want, and I done made a mess, ain't no way in the world I'm going to let a woman come in my house and it's a hot mess. Because I'm having a garage sale, and so I'm running, getting things, and I'm looking for stuff, and I open up this bucket, and it's not in there, and I'm over here. I'm not finna let her go through my house. Have she lost her mind? Zena Turbert. Lisa says, same with me. I hate when they say I'm African American. I'm not. My background is Cherokee Indian and white. Oh, well, actually, I am African and American. I am. I'm African and I'm American Indian. But I'm born in the USA. My mother has Indian and my father is real African. So that tells you a lot about me, right? I was talking to a guy at work. His name is Moody. And he was like, how many languages do you speak? And I said, one. He said, one? How you only speak one language? And I was like, he's like, where was you born? I said, in Denver. He was like, you not from Africa? I said, no. He said, you look like you from Africa. I said, yeah, I do, because my father's from Africa. He said, what part? I said, Kenya. He said, Kenya is where I'm from. I said, yeah. Can you look at my forehead and look at my cheeks and you can tell? You can tell, But, I just want to, some people be looking to see what you have so someone can take it. Well, yeah, I don't think she was willing to look to see what she can take. Trust and believe. She wasn't, anybody know me ain't finna come over here playing with me. See, one thing I don't do, I don't argue. I do not argue whatsoever. Huh? But you know that, right? I don't argue. Uh Only person I'm gonna ever argue with, raise my voice at or who, it'd be my husband. I'm not gonna argue with nobody. Somebody say something about me, I'll be like, okay. You know, like if you think you know me, let me tell you something. If you think you know me and you tell me that this is what you think I am, you know what? I used to work for this gay couple. And I worked for the gay couple for a long time. They split up and then the gay couple got with another person. And so now they was a couple. And the person didn't too much care for me. She was more like the stud. And for some reason she didn't care for me. I've never said nothing or anything, they know that I'm a Christian and all that. I don't care what their belief is, or as long as they didn't believe in the devil, I'm gonna work there. I'm gonna work with the kid. What they believe in ain't got nothing to do with me. Who they having sex and who with ain't got nothing to do with me. But my mama told me, she said, you be very careful. That's what she told me. She didn't like me working for these people. Okay. And I didn't see a problem with it because, their sex life ain't got nothing to do with me. This is a job. You know what I'm saying? And a good job on top of that. I told my mama, I'm going to make that money. So I worked the job almost 15 years. So the lady that I worked for, she ended up getting with somebody else. And like I said, the other lady, she seemed to have an issue with me for I don't know what reason. I've been working with this woman for 10, 12 years before you even come along. And now all of a sudden, I'm doing this wrong and doing, I mean, the craziest things would happen. I mean, and I seen it coming. But I'm gonna tell you what my mother told me, because you guys, I'm gonna just tell you, like my mom, she was a racist. She was. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. She was a racist, but she had a reason to be racist. She's seen a lot. She was around when Martin Luther King was around, so she's seen a lot. They had to drink certain water from certain fountains. They had separate schools and all this other stuff. She's seen a lot. You know what I'm saying? She had to grow up quick and all this other stuff. I don't get mad at the older people when they still believe what they believe or whatever. Now, I still love my mom, but I mean, I'm just being honest with you. She was racist. I'm not nowhere near no close to being racist. I just rather date my own because I like my melatonin. I like my melatonin brothers. But other than that, I've dated white, Mexicans, and you name it. But it's just I prefer my own when to marry and all. I'll date them and have some fun, and if it gets serious, but it can't get serious with me because I'm very deep down into my roots. You know what I'm saying? But my mother was very racist, but she would tell me to, be careful. Be careful because, they only want to give me jobs with those type of people. And I said, what type of people are you talking about, Mom? And she would say, the gay ones. So I said, oh, okay, this, that, and the other. And I said, oh, okay. Well, and I tell people all the time, the way I was raised, my mother and my stepfather would teach us, and they would teach us that it was a sickness, it was an illness when people became gay. It was an illness. It was like, like, well, we didn't really see gay women. We only seen the gay men. And, they would be very flamboyant or whatever, and or carry a purse or want to wear makeup or whatever. And so my mother would tell me that the Lord had handed them the reprobated mind. They wanted to choose over what God has given them to their want, which is a reprobated mind. That's why they're so flamboyant now or whatever. And it was a disease. That's what my mother told me. I'm just being honest, you guys. And so we always thought, okay, but not make fun of no one or anything or speak about it in a bad way. But that's what my mother taught me. So as I grew up, it just never crossed my mind. Now, some people be like, could I change? I don't believe I can. Because even though I care and love, and I do have people in my family that is the gay community or whatever, it still doesn't change how my mother raised me. You know what I'm saying? It's like people's like, well, do you think you can do this or you think you could do that? Or no, I can't. I can't, because that's not how I was raised. So you see what I'm saying? Like, there's no way I can become in that community. You know what I'm saying? My kids can or whatever, because I'm a loving person or whatever. But I can't, because what my mother has taught me. And I mean, it runs deep. It's in my blood. It runs deep. You guys understand what I'm saying? But I don't look down or anything of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, just thinking about the whole situation, how a person is raised can, and I'm talking about Jake, you guys. I'm talking about Jake. It can affect how you raise your kids. It could be in a good way or it could be in a bad way. Exactly, SP. Now we see it all. No closet anymore. Well, I think a lot of it really wasn't closet. I really don't. I just think people are more open to being like, it used to be like, I'm gonna tell you something. I would be fearful if a person was in a gay relationship when I was growing up, because they would bully them, they would talk about them. I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mother would say, if they woke up that morning thinking that they a man, a girl thinking that she a man, but she knows she ain't a man or whatever, but she wants to live the life like she's a man. She wants to be the provider, or she wants to, and that's not what God made us to be, like that or whatever. And he gave them the reprobated mind. Then if they think like that, then and they started off their day wrong like that, then okay, this is what she told me. You be careful, because if they wake up like that and they think like that, what else do they think is okay? And I got to thinking about it. And at first I was like, and I'm just going to be honest with you. At first I was like, oh, Mom, that ain't nothing. You tripping. They whoever they with. It's no big deal. Nothing. don't it ain't no big deal. You know, like I ain't tripping. I don't care what they do. I'm there to take care of a kid or whatever. It ain't got nothing to do with me. And then, you know, I'm there with this kid for 15 years. And I love this kid just like he was my own. And I go to work one day, and the lady's girlfriend, well, now they done got married. She calls me outside and she said, "Hey, we need to talk." And I'm like, "Okay." And I go outside and I said, "What's up?" She was like, "Hey, do you think you're doing a really good job? Do you really think you earn your money?" What the F are you talking about? I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, really? You really think?" I was out of words. I would give this boy a shower every morning, wash his hair, make sure when he didn't even have a jacket, I would take off my coat, my jacket, and hand it to him. I would go visit him at school. What? What do you mean? What do you mean? And all of a sudden, because you're in the mom's life, you're trying to say, I'm making money off of this child. Well, first of all, you are right about one thing. It is my job. Exactly. And you know what's so weird about the whole situation? And it's true. And she's not, that's not the truth what she said. But it is true that it is my job. But do you not know that all the sacrifice I did for this child, do you know that the doctor did not even clear me to work and to drive all the way from the south side of town to the north side of town, and I get lost coming to this house, putting my life at risk just to put him on the bus every day for a month, whether I got paid or not. Because mom was going to lose her job because she had missed so much work. When mom didn't have a place to live or go when she got kicked out, I brought the kids to my house. That's going beyond a job. That's going beyond a job. That's basically bringing these kids into white on top of that, white as rice. My kids eat, those kids eat. They stay at my house. Bring all their stuff over here and, oh, you got kicked out? Oh, you can't remember being tossed over the balcony, breaking your leg, and being kicked out at the same time and not having a place to go where your kids can sleep. So they were at my house. So, you know, I told her I quit. She said, "That's fine with me." I said, "Okay, it's cool with me too. It can be quick or it can be in 2 weeks. What do you?" I didn't want to put the mother in a bad situation, so I gave him 2 weeks. It was hard for me to go every day for 2 weeks, knowing that my last day being there, I would not see that boy anymore. He would literally dig in my plate while I'm eating and be laughing at the same time. He didn't know no better. He said, I'm the best nurse. And if he seen me today, he would know who I am. He would come up and give me a hug and kisses and would not let me go. I literally miss that child, you know. But like I said, my mother warned me. She told me. She said, do not trust them people. And so sometimes I wonder if it's true or not. Zena says, when I was doing home health, I was subjected to all kinds of racist people. You know what I'm saying? So I really think that, people sometimes get it wrong when you say, look here, I may not be gay, I may not be white, I may not be Mexican, but it's okay if you are. It's okay. I don't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? I may not ever speak Spanish. I may not ever, I live in a white community. I live both, well, Mexicans on one side and white people on the other side, and white people, there's no black people where I live at, you know. So I can't sit there and say, I do not like white people. Now, I done ran into a lot of racist ones. I'm just tell you that. And you know them when you see them, the way that they deal with you. But you know what? And I'm going to say this. I have ran into some good white people. I don't know if they have a conscience or something, but I wouldn't be where I am today. And, and I just say, the Lord bless me with, I'm just telling you, like, all police cannot be bad. All white people cannot be bad. All Mexican people cannot be bad. All gay people cannot be bad. You guys, like, you take a person and judge them for themselves if you're going to judge. If a person has to be a woman, then she's a woman. Or if she gay or he gay or Mexican or Puerto Rican or Chinese or whatever, or a woman or a man or whatever, just when you put a person in a category, and we're talking about the police, put a person in a category, and I'm just saying, being Spanish, and they really can't, you got to understand, and that's why I was telling you guys, you got to understand the Spanish community. Like, they will be very scared to go to the police and give them information. And I think somebody knows what really happened to Emmanuel. I think somebody knows, like the sister might know or her friend. It's weird how a lot of information is coming out, but nobody's telling us where you're getting this information. How do you know that Jake was giving away clothes and selling clothes? How do you know Rebecca was selling clothes and giving clothes away? It has to be somebody that is close to Rebecca and Jake. Like I said, yeah, one of my friends even told me, he was like, all your friends are gay or something. I'll be like, wow, really? I think about it. I'd be like, no, not all of them. Not all of them. But, whatever, I just be asking questions. I be asking some stupid questions. I do. I be asking stupid questions. I be like, dang. But, of course they know. Our Bible study yesterday was about trusting God, not man. God says, trust no man. God removed you from that situation. Yeah, he did. And you know what, Zena? The funny thing about the situation was I was making minimum wage, not minimum wage money, but minimum wage for my profession. The lowest paying dollar that a nurse could got paid. If you really want to know something, I'm just being honest. I did not, Matter of fact, I make double the money I was making now. I make double that amount. No, serious. I kid you not. I'm like maybe $1 away from making double the amount. $1. Like say for instance, if I was making $5 an hour, now I'm making 10. Or if I was making 10, now I'm making 20. Or if I was making 20, now I'm making 30. Or if I was making 15, now I'm making or whatever. 20, I'm making 40. You guys get what I'm saying? So I do believe that, I didn't want to leave probably because it really wasn't like work. But I was comfortable. I was very comfortable, and I guess I shouldn't have got comfortable. But and I was told that I could keep that job for life. So, I could do other jobs at the same time. But anyway, nevertheless, and I did do other jobs. I worked 2 jobs at the same time, and whatever. But nevertheless, um, you can't trust people. You really can't. People be like, "Oh, you can trust me. We're gonna be friends forever." The first thing they say is, "You do this, you do that, and you do this," and you be like, "Wow, yeah, I'm glad you told me what you think of me, and we ain't gonna have to argue about it. But thank you very much for letting me know how you really feel, because I didn't feel that way about you. But it wasn't what you think it is, but I'll let you keep thinking it because it was very hurtful, you know." Zena says, God removed you from that situation. Yeah, he did. I let them think what they want to think. I didn't argue with her. I almost said something, but I've learned not to say nothing, Like, I'm going to let my silence be, yeah. I'm not going to argue about it. It's just like the last job that I had, I didn't, some stuff happened at the work. I don't want to argue about it. I don't want to explain myself. I'm just out. I'll sit there. Life is too short to be sitting there explaining everything. And then when you got to explain to a friend, girl, that's too much. You already got to sit and try to sort your life out. But then the person that's supposed to have your back, or your friend or your buddy or your sister or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is why I'm telling you guys this. Rebecca has to have somebody that she talked to. She has to. We got to find that person. Zena said, I have to. And they treated me like I was a family member. I took care of the lady's mom, and they were so rich. They took care of me and my husband. Yeah. I don't look for like a handout or anything like, I worked for billionaires before and everything. And, I'm just saying, like, they give you good contacts and say, girl, you need to do this. And then, you be like, you really think so? You really think? They be like, the only thing you got to do is just do it. And, yeah, and probably the reason why they are so optimistic is because they got it so good. And you've been struggling your whole life. So it ain't that you're negative or you're a Debbie Downer. It's just you never had it where, like, you've been on your knees all the time praying to God, Like whoever won the lottery. You guys, come on now. 2 people won the lottery. One in Texas and one in Missouri. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Freddie says, No, I haven't and never will discuss what you and I or anyone tells me. I feel like if you want them to know, tell them yourself. Exactly. Thank God for all of our experiences. It shapes us to who we are. Okay. So now, you guys, that is what they're saying about Jake. So all that we're just talked about is like when I think about the situation, they're like, okay, Jake was moved from his mom. His mom was an addict. She was abusive. She left him with the grandfather. The grandfather had a mental illness. So we don't know. And then they had to been taken from the grandfather. I don't know if the grandfather died or how they ended up being adopted, but they were adopted out. You guys, I told you, when kids end up the in the hands of the state, it's horrible. It is. It's very horrible. And you never know what, like, I'm going to tell you guys something that I heard yesterday. And then we're going to get off of here. But I'm going to tell you guys something that I heard. I was doing some research. I was looking at this guy. He's got a YouTube channel. He won the Powerball. And he interviews people who won the Powerball. Was it a dream? Was it numbers? Was it coincidence? How, like he said, he dreamed that he won the Powerball. And so therefore he dreamed that he won the lottery, not the Powerball, but he dreamed he won the lottery. And then a month later he won. And so he interviews people who wins the Powerball or whatever. But, and things of that nature. And so, and I keep telling you guys one of these days, yeah, I'm going to win. And I'm not just saying I'm going to win just so because everybody might say they're going to win. I'm like, no, I know I'm going to win. It's just, I don't know when I'm going to win, but I know I'm going to win. I don't know if it's going to be the Powerball. I don't know what. But yeah, I'm going to come in a big money. But nevertheless, the guy said he interviewed this woman. You guys listen to this. Zena says, silence speaks volumes. Yes, it does. Because you know what? You can only beat yourself up when you really had someone loyal that they didn't even see it coming or whatever. Like, what? Like, no, I thought the world of you, and this is what you think of me? Like, yeah, okay. Anyway, he interviewed this woman, and the woman said that she dreamed she was going to win a lottery, I guess the Powerball or whatever, or some she was going to win big money. So she was at a kiosk, one of the machines, and the machine, she stuck her money in, and somebody bumped her, and it pushed the button, and the ticket came out, and it wasn't the ticket she was going to buy. And they was like, excuse me, I'm so sorry, but once you put your money in those machines, you don't get your money back. It don't even give you change. You got to spend it. If you put a 20 in there, you think you're going to buy a $2 ticket, you better tighten up them boots. You're going to buy a $20 ticket by the end of it. You don't get to ask the questions about, I just want $6 on it or whatever. You got to spend the whole 20. It don't give you change back. But anyway, so when the lady got bumped, the ticket came out. It wasn't the ticket that she was going to buy. I don't know if she was going to buy the Mega Million. I don't know if she was going to buy a scratch off or whatever, but that's how she got the ticket. That ticket won that woman $108 million. Y'all. So I was like, I just watched it last night. That ticket won that woman $108 million. I was like, dang. You know what I'm saying? When it's for you, it's gonna be for you. Ain't gonna be no nothing. I'm just telling you guys. What's for you is for you. Okay? What's for you is for you. That's just confirmation. Somebody needed to hear what I seen, and I was like, dang, bump me and make me, because people do it all the time. I go into the Quick Trip or whatever, and I'll be like, give me a Powerball, and they print out the wrong one. I say a $2 ticket, and they print me a $10 ticket. They're like, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. I'll be like, give me that. You better give me that. And I'll be like, well, I was supposed to get some gas. I ain't getting no gas. You better give me that $10 ticket. Don't put that up there. Matter of fact, any of them that you miss. And I'm gonna tell y'all something really, really, really funny. You want to know something really funny that I used to do? I don't do it no more, but I used to do this. But I would go in the Quick Trip, and I would tell them, I would look to see if they got any tickets up on the top, where they misprinted a ticket, or somebody said, no, not the Mega Million, but the Powerball, and they didn't want that ticket. And I'd be like, is that ticket up there? Is a misprint? They'd be like, yeah. I said, how much is a ticket? And I would always buy those tickets, right? And this was right before I went in the hospital. But I would always buy those tickets. Do you know that people would win, and they would check their ticket to see if they win. And sometimes the people would put the ticket back up there, don't know that ticket had already been paid off. Now they got it where they can tell that ticket's been paid. But before, they didn't used to have that. But when I got out the hospital, I had all these tickets that I had been going to, all these Quick Trips, and I was like, give me those tickets that you, like, nobody didn't want. And I would buy them, and I would buy them, and I would buy them. Do you know I won so much money on that stuff, y'all? It wasn't even funny. My son, he'd be like, well, Mama, we ain't got no money or whatever. And I'd be like, oh, take these tickets up there and go check them out. And we go check them out. He'd be like, we got $170 something. I'd be like, all right. we was trying to win that money. Monique said, I wish I was the winner. Oh, girl, what can you do with? Okay, so the money was like $1.8 billion. So when they get done, they're not going to be a billionaire, because Uncle Sam's going to take, first, you're going to take a lump sum. So then that's going to leave you with about 1 million. I mean, not 1 million. I'm tripping. Probably 100 million. Close to 100 million. Because 100 million is a billion. But you're going to have some good money. They'll probably end up with like $900 million. But it's two people that won, so $500 million. I'll take that. Jack. Shoot. Freddie said, that's what I say also. What God has for me, he has for me. Exactly. So, Zena says, I just went through that a couple of years ago, and I said, tell me how you really feel. Then she realized, oh my God, I messed up. And she came back to me apologizing something frantically. She was so afraid. I just went through a couple of years ago, and I said, tell me how you really feel. Then she realized, oh my God, I messed up. And she came back to me apologizing. Yeah. No, sometimes people just throw it out there. I don't know. I guess whatever. But life goes on, and people come and people go, and that's just the way it is. Some people, they're just here for borrowed time of your life. Like this one guy try to explain it like this. He was saying, like, are you in my dream or am I in your dream? Like you want to in in other people's dream. I don't know how to explain what he was saying. It's like, are you in my dream or am I in your dream? So you got to make life happen. So let them be in your dream. So you dream your dream and you manifest your dream and make it come true. So do the things that you're supposed to do and let them be in your dream instead of you being in their dream, making their dream come true. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, be in your own dream. And the only way you could be really in your own dream is do you, boo. Do you. Of the information I had that she confined in me, she thought I would tell. I could have and blew her mind. Yeah, yeah, You know what though? The good thing about life is, like there's a whole world. I'm gonna explain this, guys, to you guys, and I figure it like this. Like my husband's mom and I, we don't get along. We just don't. I mean, and I thought, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Da 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 da. You know, and I finally decided to just, I mean, I thought about it and I thought about it, and I was like, you know, the best thing I can do is just leave her alone. Like, don't answer her phone calls, don't talk to her, don't bring her up, don't be around, don't question anything, just stay. Like before I met my husband, I didn't know nothing about his mom. I don't know what she looked like. I didn't know where she lived. I didn't know nothing. So I have to go back to that and go, she really didn't even exist in my, I mean, if I didn't know she even existed, only because I know him, she exists. So what I will do, since she plays games and do little crazy stuff, just stay away. And I said, well, I'll stay away for a week. And a week went by. Then I said, oh, this is kind of good. Oh, I'll stay away from a month. I'm just not going to talk to her. I'm not going to call her. I'm not going to go to no dinners. I'm not going to no birthday parties. So a whole month went by. Then I said, oh man, peace. This is peaceful. And when he say something, I just go, okay. He's like, oh, mom's having a dinner. You coming? I'll be like, no, I got to work. I sign up to go to work. I just signed up to go to work. I didn't say nothing bad. Didn't say, no, I ain't going. I don't want to go. She lied on me. She do this. She pulled my hair. She done this, done that. I just make myself busy or not busy and just be at home. And a year go by, then 2 years went by, and I ain't got to buy gifts and gifts that I can't really afford, to people that really don't like me. So now I don't feel the burden, I just, I love from a distance, like from a distance. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. I tried. I ain't gonna try no more. Don't care. Don't. I just treat her like she doesn't even exist. And I know she does, but like I don't. When he say something, he be like, "Oh, mom's now she got a boyfriend." I tease my husband about it, and I say, "Oh, she don't have you no more. You're not her husband anymore. She got her a man." Ooh, Ooh, she went and got her, man. Ah, of the information I had is she confining a lot, none the rest. A lot, none the rest. I know when people meet me for the first time, they either like me or don't. Ask me how much I don't care. I know that's right. Cena say, you got that right. I know. I know. People usually be like, oh, I don't I don't even come out. They cling to me. I don't even come out. I got this girl at work right now. And she be like, oh, you're my favorite nurse. And she's a really good worker too. I love her. I love when I ain't gotta tell her nothing. I ain't gotta tell her to go get anything. I ain't gotta tell her to do. I ain't that girl, that girl would be on it. She like me. I ain't gotta say nothing. I ain't gotta say, hey, I need my outputs. Could you go check on Miss Such and Such? Or could you go fill up the water? Or could you go do a check and chain at this time or that time? Or let me clock you in and clock you out. I ain't gotta. When this girl, her name is, I'm just gonna tell you what her name is, you guys. I'm just gonna tell you. Her name is Courtney. She is the go-to guru. I love her. When I'm working and Courtney working, I ain't got to worry about a doggone thing. I'm doing my thing. She doing her thing. We sit up there. We chitter chatter. And we don't really chat about nothing really. You know what I mean? We just, whatever's happening at work or something. We be like, she said, you find out anything? Nope, nope, nope. Did you? Yeah, such. Ooh, nah, bad. All right, let's get the show on the road. Let's go. You know, and I try not to get close to nobody. I don't. I just at my age now, I'm just tired. Just wanna see if these kids gonna take care of their kids. Just can't wait if they gonna take care of their own kids or whatever. But the thing about um Jake, you know, that baby, that baby is that's sad. It's just sad, you guys. I'm just keeping it real. 7 months old. God, that is really, really sad. You know, she knows not only the routine, she cares like you do about people. Yeah. But here's the thing about Jake. He done destroyed two kids' life. Regardless if he the father or not, leaving that the see, they got it in here wrong. He says after he severely abused his 10-month-old daughter. She wasn't 10 months old. She was 10 weeks old. It was 10 weeks. It was 10 weeks, you guys. She wasn't 10 months. She was 10 weeks. Leaving her permanently disabled. Terrifying news claim about Devil, Dad Jake, whose abuse left daughter disabled. See, they talking about him. And he got rings around his eyes. He's not sleeping well at night. He got rings around his eyes like somebody had punched him. But he's very dark. Margarita Alvina, the mother of Vanessa Alvina, whose child was left severely disabled after an incident with her ex-husband. It's crazy. They say the remains have not been located. That's how all of that is. Hey Tina, how you doing? We're getting ready to get off here. So yeah, she was 10 weeks. I find so many I should go and let them know. I put in there that, you guys made a mistake. Oh, hold on. Let me read this. I haven't read this. The primary challenges are time and terrain, the former prosecutor said. Several weeks have now passed, and in remote areas like this, natural element and wildlife can destroy, move, or scatter crucial evidence, making the search exponentially more difficult. However, Tag have the managing partner at Sweet James law firm insisted recovering Emmanuel's remain is not impossible. While it becomes more challenging with each passing day, it's certainly not impossible. We've seen cases where remains are recovered months or even years later through persistence investigation, advancing technology, and new tips from the public. Finding Emmanuel remains crucial both for achieving justice and providing his family with the closure they desperately need. Authorities said Jake Hayro was not assisting investigators with their search effort. Then what was he doing out there? That doesn't even make sense. Oh, he wasn't assisting. He wasn't assisting us. We just have him out here so he can get some fresh air. So he can he can just be out here and look at us, look for his son. Investigators revealed in court document that Emmanuel could have been dead as early as August the 5th, 8 days earlier than when Rebecca claimed the 7-month-old went missing from the parking lot sporting goods store on the 14th, about 10 miles east of San Bernardino. Somebody said in the chat last week or a couple of weeks ago, Jake is just wasting time. This is severe abuse for an infant. He says, whatever you think of the criminal justice system and people, it need a break. Someone who does that to a child belongs in prison, period. In a jailhouse interview with the press on Wednesday, Jake claimed the injuries to his daughter, Carolina, was accidental, saying he inadvertently dropped her on a sink divider while bathing her. And did all of that? Shit. You didn't drop her on the sink divider and broke all. I mean, she had healing wounds. Now, you probably dropped her the last time, but all of that, breaking the 4th, 5th, and the 7th rib and in the foot bone too, the tibia. Boy, please. Jake and Rebecca. Oh, Lord. You know, I don't even, I was going to look for what all it was. I don't even want to look because that judge knew better. Matter of fact, it's going to show it to me. Yep, it's showing it to me. It keeps showing this baby and the stuffed toy. You know what? No, he's just trying to take some time before court. The stuffed toys was laid outside the hero's home. You know what's so funny? It's not really funny, but I'm going to say this, you guys. A child come up missing, presumed to be deceased or whatever. Everybody in Timbuktu go buy a stuffed animal, a balloon. And why y'all can't do that while the child is alive? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand, like, people, oh, I'm bringing him a bear and tied up on the fence, a memorial. Oh, I'm gonna bring him some clothes. And but all the clothes and the toys and the stuff, get it to a kid that is alive. You know what I'm saying? There's so many kids in the burn unit and in the children home that needs toys and clothes and teddy bears and stuff, But, people be like, oh, they done already told you. They presume he's dead. I'm being honest. Don't come bringing me a teddy bear. For what? For what? This is more about you. Like, I'm just being honest. Like some people sometimes, like the last time somebody asked me for some help, I was on the phone with a friend or whatever, so-called friend. And the person was asking me for help and I only had big bills on me. But anyway, nevertheless, I was like, what are you trying to do? I asked them what they trying to do. They said, oh, I'm trying to, they was in front of Dollar Tree. Y'all hear me? Put a 1 in the chat. They was in front of Dollar Tree. And there was a man sitting on the sidewalk and he was like, ma'am, can you spare some change or whatever? And I said, well, I really ain't got no change. I said, what are you trying to do? He said, I'm trying to get something to eat. And I only had $100 bills on me. And I think this was maybe about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I said, where you going to get something to eat at? They said they was going to go in Dollar Tree and get something to eat. I said, well, come on and get whatever you want. But I only got a card. But you can get whatever you want. You guys hear what I just said? When he got in the store, I said, get your card and get whatever you want. I was just going in there to get some batteries. I said, get whatever you want. And I was taking my time looking at some other stuff, which I wasn't going to get. And so I started going up there to the cash register. And here he comes with a cart. He had all kind of snacks and popcorn and tater chips and Hungry Man meal and eggs and cereal and milk. And he had a whole bunch of stuff. I said, are you sure that's all you need? Go get anything you need. We're in line. Go get whatever else you need. And he looked at me and he smiled. He did, y'all. He smiled. He was like, okay. And the people just looking. There was somebody in front of me, so I was just hoping he hurried up, you know. I'm going to tell you guys something. I was supposed to go pay a bill with my money, right? But he asked me for some help. And I just couldn't give him my money because, like I said, I only had big bills. We got up there to the cash register. I think the total came up to $55. I had one thing in my hand. Now you know Dollar Tree now is $1.25. I couldn't tell you what all he got because he was on the side sacking his stuff up. I had my batteries, stuck them in my purse, and she said $55, and I swiped my card. And he said, thank you. I said, have a nice day, and walked on out. You know what? Why can't we do that to people when they alive? Why do we want to wait till they deceased? He could have got anything he wanted. If he got deodorant, he could have got deodorant, shampoo, soap, Vaseline, cleaning socks, some socks, whatever. He could have got anything. He could have got all Tootsie Rolls or candy or bubble gum. I didn't care what he got. He could have came with 2 cards and was said, this would help me. He said he was a VA and he ran out of money. I said, okay, come and get whatever you need. I'm going to tell you something. Right, SP, like the memorial bicycle on the side of the road. Yes. But why do people wait until after tragedy before they go out their way to help someone? I just don't understand it. I mean, I know you can't help somebody because they don't need help, but, you know, like you see a kid down the street and he always have dirty clothes. Why you can't go buy him a teddy bear and some clothes? Or you see a mother struggling to get her kids to school. Why you can't pick up the kids and bring them home and y'all take turns or something? Why is it that you got to see other people being interested before, you know, you get interested? You know what I mean? I think, you know, whether people see what you do or don't see what you do, you can feel good. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't know how good that guy felt, but I guarantee you the love went a long way. The Lord tells you love can heal a multitude of sin. It covers love covers a multitude of sins. You guys know that? You ain't even got to know them. Just do it. Just do it. I think that's why I'll probably never be rich. I just do stuff. It might even be stupid. I don't know. I just do it. And people, you know what? I'm more blessed than any of y'all. I know I am. I know I'm more blessed than y'all. You know why? Because stuff don't mean nothing. You know, I want to be rich so I can give it all away. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna take care of family. I'm gonna take care of my kids. You know, my 2 girls and my boy. I'm gonna take care of them. I'm gonna make sure my husband's okay too. But you know, I better be anonymous because I'll probably give it all away. But I was just wondering why everybody was putting all these teddy bears on the fence. They know the baby's gone. They know the baby's gone. But they'll go out and buy a teddy bear knowing that this baby is gone to put up there so they can say, look at that teddy bear. That's what we put. I don't know. I mean, you just should just make a card or something. But they wasn't supporting the family, and I truly know why they wasn't supporting the family. Lisa said, I always try to pay it forward. Oh, girl, I do too. I mean, if you don't share what you do, then other people won't know. So I'm not telling you so you can know what I do. I'm telling you to let you know that, if you have thinkings like that, then do it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But I can tell you, you know what I used to tell people all the time? I said, you know what? I already know why God be blessing me. I know why God be blessing me because, girl, I be just giving stuff away for no reason. I be looking for somebody to bless. Shoot. You ain't finna go tell nobody. I'll tell everybody. Shoot, I'm gonna bless some people today. But I don't really bless people like people that I'm close to, like they'll come to me and say, hey, I need my rent paid. Girl, please. You and me both. You know what I'm saying? You and me both need our rent paid. For real, for real. But I don't mind blessing people that I don't know. I love it. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. I've been blessed my whole life. That's why I don't worry. I don't never worry about money. I don't worry about, a job. I don't worry about, who got what or whatever. I done been there, done it. It's all good. Tina said, my pastor always say, don't have a tight fist or your blessings won't come through. So I try to help. Exactly. So, go out and I'm going to try to bless somebody today. Go out and let's make a commitment to try to bless somebody today, you guys. I mean, I look at it like this. If I can go put, $10 on the Powerball, I can put $10 in somebody's hands so they can either go get something to eat. Hopefully they go get something to eat. I'm gonna tell you right now, a person that's an addict, you can't get mad because they are addict, they're addict, they're addict. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to help an addict stay an addict, but you can't stay with them and be like, what you doing with that $10 I gave you? You went to the liquor store. You went to the dope man. Like, yeah, they make some good money. But, Zena said, I saw a couple with 2 kids in Walmart and they had a buggy full of stuff and I paid for it with no problem. Girl, you better than me. You better than me. I be wanting to do something like that, but I don't be never seeing people. I don't go to Walmart. When I go to the store, they got food stamps. They got more money than I got. That's a blessing. Thank you, Monique. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's okay. It's always good. You go out and bless somebody today, you guys. It is, what is it, Wednesday? Today, Wednesday the 10th. I don't work today. So I'm going to try to see somebody today and bless them. You guys do the same. I'm going to get off of here. Thank you guys for showing up, sharing in the conversation. We just having good conversation, talking about Jake and what the update on Jake was. If you didn't hear it, there was an update on Jake. And if you did hear it, put a 2 in the chat. And I'll give you a recap. And if not, we're going to say goodbye. But I will see you guys Friday. I will be working Friday. So I'll see you guys Friday. All right. Be good and be nice to each other.